Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And happy Saturday to you, and happy Saturday to you, Bobby D.
Happy Saturday to you.
And happy Saturday, my day after Valentine.
Yes, got that right.
Well, of course, it is still Valentine's Day weekend.
Yes, absolutely.
So here we
It's
are.
always a good thing.
Yes. So here we are. It is Saturday, February 15th, 2025. And this is the CCI radio show sponsored by Vibrant Souls Health and Wellness. You can follow Vibrant Souls on Instagram, and you can email Vibrant Souls at vibrantsouls@gmail.com.
Yes, that is correct, Alex.
So, yes. So, and wow, I hear a lot of, you know what, we'll talk about what's going on outside too in just a second, but
yes.
Let's go ahead and get this party started. We are globally connected for 13 years and counting. The CCI radio show begins just a matter of moments, so stay tuned. Correct, Bobby D?
Yes.
All right, welcome back to the show. And if this is your first time, welcome aboard. Make sure you click, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are on the road to, I kind of lost track. Well, last time I checked, let me think here. Well, where we want to be, we just want to be at a nice, respectable number.
Nice round number.
Nice round number, a nice even number. So how about we start another contest effective today?
Okay.
And the new contest will roll into 30 days.
Oh.
It'll go 30 days from now until March 15th. So what it is, well, you know what? Yeah, I'm trying to think of where now I know where we are. And with this being the month of love and also Heart Association Month.
And Black History Month.
And Black History Month. So I'm thinking, what is a nice number to use to try to get some more people to like our channel? Since, there's three different things there.
Three.
Three. Yeah, we could probably get, we can't even get one.
We could get three.
We can get three.
We could get three. Maybe.
Well, that's a real, I don't know. Three.
Okay.
How about 10?
10. That sounds good.
All right.
Good morning, Miss Danetta.
Hey, good morning, Danetta. And happy Saturday to you. Thanks for tuning in and joining us for our weekly or weekend shenanigans with everybody's favorite weekend.
That's true. All the weekend shenanigans.
Exactly. Good morning, sis.
Hello, Lady Lee.
Happy Saturday to you. Happy Valentine's Day to the two lovely ladies there. And hopefully you guys have
happy Valentine's to whoever else is hanging out there.
Yes. Absolutely. So, as we were coming on the air, we heard this beeping and stuff. So basically what it is, we got some snow overnight, believe it or not. And it looks like the roads are pretty much clear now. That was the salt truck that was backing up, and he was going back and forth. And then the snowplow, the salt truck and the snowplow, same vehicle. He was coming up the hill, plowing and putting salt down. And then as I looked down yonder toward the main road, I see the main road seemed like it's now clear.
Oh, that's good.
And the snow seems to diminish. So what's supposed to be happening today and tomorrow is supposed to be two impact days, which are really interesting. So today it's supposed to be AM snow and PM rain. Tomorrow it's AM rain, PM snow.
Oh, okay.
So it is just real crazy. But
well, I'm happy that didn't happen Thursday or yesterday.
yes, and yeah, I'd say we had a pretty decent Valentine's Day weekend.
So far.
Yeah, started off.
Yeah.
Like I said, before we get started with the show today, where's my little notebook here? Make sure I got this in hand so I don't lose track of what I'm doing here. So, if you didn't already, make sure that you go get the latest edition of Pandemic Press Media Magazine, because on the cover you have CG Win on the cover, and again, it's a very great interview. So if you haven't gotten your copy of this one, make sure you go to lulu.com specifically and search for the winter 2025 edition, and you will find CG Win.
Sounds good.
So also, if you didn't get a chance, make sure you go back and watch yesterday's Cooking Fun with Mrs. Covage. It was another really great episode, and you made one of my favorites. Of course, everybody's favorite, homemade pizza.
That's right.
So everybody's favorite. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that, make sure you go to back to our YouTube channel and watch that. And looking at some of the comments here, I see the Netta talk to each other. The Netta says we got snow overnight too, and then supposed to be more tonight. I'm over it at this point. Sis says my road is not been plowed, and I missed my hair appointment. Wow.
Oh, that's not. We
says,
ladies don't like missing our hair appointments. We don't like doing that.
Really? The Netta says, girl, the plow trucks are the worst. They owe you money for your hair.
You got that right.
And sis says, yep. And what's that?
Some hand them a bill.
Oh no. And coming down the street.
Got that right.
Oh no. Trying to think. So we are still in Black History Month, so we got more Black History we're going to talk about today. We're going to have some.
Let me get my Black History. Facts ready.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some Black History facts. We're going to do some Black History trivia at some point during the show as well. If you didn't listen to last week's audio podcast was the Crazy People Follow Us podcast. So
what was that last week?
Yeah, that was last week. So you can go back to. We are exclusively right now on SoundCloud, but then we want to welcome Podbean and Spreaker as being two of our newest assets to the audio podcast, where you'll hear Love Notes, Gospel Excellence, the Back to the 80s, Back to the 90s podcast, and Crazy People Follow Us. So thank you and welcome aboard Podbean and Spreaker. As far as that. It was a great Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles, our brothers and sisters on the other side of the state. So congratulations to the Eagles for winning the championship. It takes them to 2 Super Bowl wins, all-time record for them. Of course, the big headliner
was a very young,
very great performer. I'll be honest with you. I was not expecting. I was expecting it to be great, or good, but I think it was great.
That's exactly
so.
Right.
My hats off to Kendrick Lamar, because his performance there was just awesome.
Well, actually, it's funny. I was reading because there's the internet, social media is all abuzz over the whole show.
Yeah.
It's either you absolutely loved and adored it, or you hated it. And you hated it because you didn't understand it. Now, of course, because I do my research and all that stuff. And there are people out there saying that what Kendrick created is something that's going to be studied in not only like history classes, civic classes and all that for decades now. And that is fantastic for him because he's only 37. 37 years old.
I actually didn't realize he was that young.
Right, exactly. He's not only, he literally just won 5 Grammys.
He's got a whole lot more.
I'm not sure if it's right, but he has like 22 Grammys total. And he's a Pulitzer Prize winner, which is something new that I found out. I had no idea. I'm even more impressed by the fact that he's a Pulitzer Prize winner.
Right.
And literally everything that you saw was purposeful. Everything. So go back, watch again, and then listen to different commentators talk about what they thought, and watch different, other content creators discussing it, because it was amazing. Like they just talked about how the stage was set up like a Game Boy. Maybe not Game Boy, but like a game, video game
arrangement.
The dancers being in red, white, and blue, but red, white, and blue didn't only represent the flag. It represented the Crips and the Bloods. Serena.
Now that was a shock, if at all.
Serena
when she did that Crip walk.
Yes, doing the Crip walk, but all because there was a story behind that too. If you know, if you don't know, you will know that years ago when Serena had, she and Venus are also amazing with the whole tennis thing. They're just fabulous. But besides Serena being from Compton, wearing her blue for the Crips, doing the Crip walk, apparently years ago, to celebrate one of her wins at one of these, Wimbledon or whatever she was doing, she did the Crip walk, and she got into huge trouble because she did it. So why not do it on the biggest stage on one of the biggest nights of the year? So, oops. So it wasn't only about the fact that she had dated Drake. It was because of that little problem with the whoever gave her a hard time about doing the Crip walk after celebrating her win. So it was amazing. But the blue and the red, white, and blue was for the Crips and the Bloods. And it was like Kendrick Lamar was bringing them together. Everybody was in prison uniforms. And of course, Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam.
Well, you couldn't have that any other way. It was so fitting.
Yes.
For him to be Uncle Sam.
And people even talked about him doing it like a minstrel show type act. And he, was telling him, no, too loud, too ghetto. You got to calm down. And so all of these, absolutely beautiful. And of course, what we talked about last week, like, should Kendrick perform They Not Like Us? It's in litigation right now.
Well,
but as we know now we know he did do it. But even though he smiled in the camera and said, "Hey, Drake," that pretty much was it about Drake, because the whole thing was really about the political climate right now. So absolutely fabulous. Awesome. Hats off to Kendrick Lamar and his artistry and his brilliance. I mean that, and if you didn't understand it,
too bad.
Well,
Yeah, too bad if you didn't understand
if
it.
you didn't understand it, go back and watch it again. Suffer through it. Oh my gosh, it's just such a horrible, the worst thing ever. No. Anyway, but if you didn't understand it, then clearly you're not like us.
Case in point, just like some of the comments there, that's the first thing Danetta said. They not like us. Sisters, game over.
Game over.
Has anyone checked on Drake?
Oh yes, there was something about Drake. Drake was in Australia or something.
Yeah, performing a concert or something.
Yeah, he was performing a concert.
We know he got wind of this.
I'm sure he got wind of it, but it was like I said, it wasn't only it was mostly about 47 and the
we know
political climate.
We know.
But
she said sis says it's already starting at Howard U. And
I didn't know that.
I'm out.
Huh?
I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Probably something up there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then I wasn't. Sorry. And sis says, I have too. I've watched it this morning already. Danetta says, very strategic. She said, game console, the pettiness of it all. Hashtag Serena. She says, right when life hands you lemons, make lemonade. I'm glad she did the crit watch. And she said, if Zero F was a person, I get it. I definitely
That's
get it.
right.
Yeah, that was like one of the greatest Super Bowls performances to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't agree with, some of you don't agree with it, that's a shame. But it really was.
Well, we know the ladies in the comments agree. But we're talking to those of our lurkers.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was absolutely Now, of course, we have a friend who commented. They were and are still a huge fan of the former Vice President Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she voted for her and the whole thing, but she commented under our actually it was your post about Kendrick, right? Or was it mine?
Yeah, it might have been mine.
I think it was yours.
Yeah.
And she absolutely didn't understand it. She didn't get it. She didn't know. And I said, well, I could, when we meet again, I'll explain it to you. No, I can't watch it again. It was just too much. So I will meet with her again and go over it again, because I don't think she's a fan of rap music. I mean, we've known each other over 30 years, so I don't believe that rap was her thing. However, if I remember, like I said, it's been a long time since we've known each other. I do believe that she fancies LL Cool J, actually, from what I remember.
Most people do.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Still.
Well, ladies love Cool J. He wasn't wrong. He was not wrong.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad you got into the LL Cool J thing, which kind of leads into Legends.
Yes. Would you like to discuss Legends?
Which I'm sure that's probably why you went that route.
Yes. Well,
even if it wasn't intentional, but yes, we had a very, very wonderful concert this past Thursday night. We had the honor of seeing the legendary MC Light, and she did not disappoint at all. When she came out, we were just all in awe. I mean, she looked great. She looked a little smaller than I thought.
Yeah, she's a tiny lady.
She's tiny, yeah.
She's a tiny lady.
But she looked great, and you said you liked her hair.
I love her short, just the short. I mean, she's a beautiful, she's in her 50s now, and she's a beautiful woman, and she was cute, back in the 80s and all that and whatnot, but the thug stuff and the baggy pants and all that stuff. She was cute back then. She was cute, but she has really like
evolved.
Yes, it's just just even she just gets better with time, I think. So she's just beautiful, and we were what 2 feet away from her.
If you would have stuck your hand out, she would have shook it.
She would have. She was right there.
She looked at you quite a few times.
Well,
most people do. It's like, it's like they're, I mean, not in a bad way, but it's like all the performers, like, because they're looking at you, they're like, wow, she's really into you. Like, I could tell she's like my biggest fan, like something like that. I just have to laugh.
Well, she has a new song out there called One of One. And it was fantastic. If you get the opportunity, try to go out there and stream it and do what you can.
She said, I don't even care where you stream it.
Well, she was actually surprised that people had already heard it, because she actually performed it for the first time ever right there on the stage. And she said, yeah, this is my first time performing it live to a crowd. And
we loved it.
It was wonderful. We prayed. She asked for prayer for her mother. She said she came from well, it was really sweet, because she had her little, like she had a t-shirt and a couple of her little jackets that she used to wear back in the day.
Yeah.
And she walks over, and she had her Tims and her
Adidas, I think.
And it was her Adidas, and they were all sitting together, kind of like in a corner. If you're Facebook friends with me, you could go. We posted pictures, so go check it out.
Yeah.
And she was standing there with one of her people, and she says, so now she had this really beautiful glittery jacket on, very, demure, demure, 50-something lady.
Yeah.
And she says, so I want to know, which do you want me to wear? And she said, now this stuff over here, and it was this one jacket she had and a t-shirt, and she had the shoes sitting down below. She goes, believe it or not, these things are actually from 1989.
Wow.
Whoa, 1989.
Taking it back.
Yeah, you are definitely taking it back.
Taking it back.
And she said, so she wanted us to choose which pair of shoes she was going to put on.
She had these black boots on when she came on anyway.
Yes. And so she switched into her Tims and put on her jacket from 89. And then she did some, some of the music. But what was lovely is that she, before she did all that, she kind of sat and talked about that she came from a single parent home, and her mother, and she's from Brooklyn, and her mother exposed her to a lot of things that were free, because her mom, a single parent. I mean, you don't have, nobody has all that money really, but but a single parent home, certainly more difficult.
Like some of the things that she talked about as being free.
Right. So she went, she said her love of music came from the exposure to the free things that her mom would take her to, like the different museums that were free, different little outdoor,
like festivals or something.
Festivals and concerts and little free things like that. And of course, at about that time now, coming up in the late 70s, early 80s, now hip hop is starting to come into view a bit. And yeah, so that's how and it was really cute, because she sat down and she says, well, first of all, I don't know, because I want you all to actually get to know who I am. I'm MC Light, and I've done all these things, but people see you in a broad view, and because I want you to get to know who I am. And so she said, well, my name is Lana, if you didn't know. And we're like, oh, we know that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. It was really nice. However, we met a friend.
This is where the plot
This
thickens.
is where the plot thickens.
This is where it thickens.
So we, the concert started at 7:30. We got there in plenty of time, about 6:45, and we're seated and we're waiting. And our a friend was meeting us down there, and we all bought tickets for make sure we're sitting all at the same table, because when you do a city winery thing, if you only buy one ticket at a table, that means there's 3 more people they could seat you with. You don't know who they're going to seat you with.
Well, before we got to our seat, though, we walked in, and the person, well, of course, you know, we walked in, we were just about to be checked in, and then our friend shows up. It's like, hey, what's going on? You know, like, but she was
waiting for her
friend, and she told us to go ahead. So in the meantime, the manager,
mm-hmm.
who we've seen various times, say, hey, how you two doing? You know, good to have you back. And you know, he's getting our last name, and said, oh, you got good seats. So, and we kind of chuckled. So then he took us to our table, and you know, Bobby and I just sitting there smiling. You know, people always jealous of me. So, but yeah,
they gotta be quicker. They gotta be quicker on your feet to get the tickets. Anyway, long story short, our friend's friend then calls, I guess. So our friend is literally on the phone fussing, blah, 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 blah. So she said, well, I'm here already, and I'm with my friends, blah, blah, blah. So she gets up, and I guess the friend said she was outside or something.
So she leaves the table.
She's gone for a while.
Look at it. This thing didn't start yet.
Right. Well, at least there was still some
about
time.
Another 20 minutes or something. Maybe about 25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So our friend when our friend came back, and we're like, oh, okay, well, where's her friend? You know, and our friend looked irritated. She was very irritated when she came back.
She was.
And so we see a young lady walking in the area. I'm like, oh, maybe that's her. Okay. And it was. And she sat down. Lovely personality. Don't get me wrong. Lovely personality. Lovely girl. However, she sits down and she's introducing herself around to everybody. She's excited. This is her first time. City Winery. She's excited that our friend invited her. Oh boy. Here we go. So I said to Sam, I'm thinking, boy, she's not that, you know, you can't be out there and, you know, and friendly and bubbly and this and that, but I kind of felt like she had a little help.
Like something was wrong there.
So, so she's introducing herself to all of us in the immediate area. And she...
Then it's the 2 sheets to the one.
Yes, indeed. She says that...
3.
Yeah, right. The young lady had gotten lost. And as I've spoken on this show many times before, it is absolutely not impossible to get lost in Pittsburgh. Okay, it's not. It is very easy to get lost, and especially since it was her first time, she didn't know what's going on. Whatever. Totally get it. But she went to Pittsburgh Winery. We were at City Winery. So she went to Pittsburgh Winery. Thankfully, she was there early, apparently. She gets there and people, oh, yeah. And apparently there were, now, this is a new thing at Pittsburgh Winery. They now have artists come and sing. So she was there. And, you know, she said people were giving her free alcohol and food and this and that. So she's chilling, enjoying herself. But she's like, well, where's my friend? And I thought she had 2 other people with her. What's going on? So after imbibing a bit too much, she asks, what winery? What winery is this? And they said, Pittsburgh Winery. And she said, well, I'm looking for the winery that has MC Light tonight. And so they were probably, oh, no, you came to the wrong place, blah, blah, blah. Okay. She leaves, finds her way. There was about 15 minutes left before MC Light's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend is on fire. She is so angry, and you could just see it in her face. And so Sam and I are sitting like this at the table. The lady we know is directly across from me, and the new one is directly across from Sam. Excuse me. So, so as we are sitting there talking to her, and she's telling us this, and I'm like, uh-oh. So,
someone's speaking.
Yes, indeed. So,
yep.
The waiter comes around and asks, "What do you want?" This, that. So she, like I said, she had never been there before, so she says, "I like Moscato. Do you have something that's like a Moscato?" "Oh, it's this whatever. Okay." So she asked for, they allow you samples. So our friend says, "Yeah, can I have a sample of that?" "Yeah, a sample." Okay, so they had a sample, and then after that, they started buying drinks. Buying the drinks. Before MC Light, now MC Light had a few little acts come out before her, which was nice. And by the time MC Light came out,
the moment she came out,
this girl was so drunk. She is screaming out. And again, if you are Facebook friends or social media friends with us,
go back and watch it.
Go back and watch the videos. I did make it into an album, and those videos are in the album.
You can hear her in the video.
You can hear her. You know what I sound like. You know what Sam C sounds like.
It's neither one of us.
You'll know that it is neither one of us. She's screaming to the top of her lungs. Now, mind you, our table is here, and here's the stage. You don't have to scream. She could hear you. She could see you. All you have to do is do this. "Hi, Light. How you doing?"
Yeah. Key words. She can see you.
That's what was embarrassing.
Yeah.
So
she kind of made a spectacle of herself.
Not only did she make a spectacle of herself,
her whole table.
So she's sitting there. And there's a lady in the table at the table on this side, because it was a sold out event. So she's sitting next to our friend. Here she is, and then this other lady that has no idea who we are. No idea. This drunk fool, yes, drunk fool, is leaning on this poor lady, and she's looking at us and looking at. I'm like
we don't know who that is.
We don't know her. I couldn't. She said her name so quick, and I couldn't. I didn't remember, and I looked back on our friends, because our friend tagged all of us in a post, but I think she was so embarrassed she just took it down.
Yeah, well,
and I couldn't find her. So with all that being said, she's screaming, "MC, I am my favorite of all time. I tried to lie." I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm like, I am so embarrassed right now for our table.
Yes.
Like, can someone remove her from the premises?
So she was so loud, so ridiculous.
Quite a few times.
Yes, and she had gone to the bathroom several times, back and forth. So our friend says, our friend looks at me and mouths, "Never again, never again." So by the end of the show, she had embarrassed all of us. MC Light is spectacular. She's a professional. She handled her well. She even kind of, it was funny. She was
kind of joked with her.
She joked. She well, not even with her, kind of about her. the girl was just, I'm saying, I love you so much. Blah, blah, blah. And so she's like, yeah, I love you too. So MC Light standing there with the microphone. I love you too. And so, and the girl is just still going. So she looks over at the rest of the crowd and she goes, give her a moment. She needs a moment. She needs a moment. Let her have a moment. And so MC Light saying,
we're just cracking up there.
And so she's just, and this girl, no clue, no idea, just blah, blah, blah. So at the end, we'll spare you all that other stuff. But
at the end, our friend left us.
Yes. So at the end,
this person.
Yes, at the end. And they say, okay, MC Light's gonna do a VIP meet and greet,
which we knew nothing about.
We didn't know anything about it, so we weren't prepared to go to that. But
obvious reasons.
So so our friend grabs all her stuff and she gets up and walks out. And she's walking out, and I said, hey, where are you going? And she said, far away from her. And she took off, and Sam was wondering what I'm doing. I'm looking behind him and trying to figure out what. And Sam said, what are you doing? And I said, I think Girlie left us with Chicky Doodle here. I'm thinking, what? I said, she just mouthed to me, away from her. And we did not see her the rest of the evening. So we're sitting there, and everybody's, that
I wasn't feeling that.
So everybody who was there, of course, they're paying their servers and they're doing all this and whatnot. And the server that we had, he couldn't have been nicer. He was such a nice guy. And Girlie, apparently, we'll just call her Girlie. Girlie apparently tips well, because that's what she was telling us. In her drunken state, I tip well, blah, blah, blah.
Actually, I saw.
You saw what she gave him?
Gave him like a 20.
Oh, okay. Good.
So,
That's
I mean,
good.
because he was good.
He was good.
So I understand. So she gave him a 20.
Okay.
I mean, she probably gave him a little bit more than what,
more than
what the usual was. But I mean, the fact that he was really nice. He was nice to all of us.
Right. He was great.
We had a ball with him.
So he was thrilled.
He was our waiter.
Gave him a nice tip and even hugged her. And he hugged her and said thank you and blah, blah, blah. So he left. And just in a few moments, she had forgotten that she paid.
Mm-hmm. And this is where it gets even more interesting.
So there is a young lady there who, when we first started going, she was a waitress. She was a waitress. And now she's a manager, but she said she's going to go back to waitress. She likes the waitressing part better. So she's going to go back to waitressing in a couple of weeks. And she was actually in both roles. So when we first came in, she was one of the managers and she was doing whatever. But I guess because MC Light's thing was sold out, they needed more wait staff. So she took off her jacket, and then she started, helping to wait tables. So she comes over to us and was, chit-chatting a little bit. And so Girlie says first she said to me, take down my number because I owe you money. And I said, honey, you don't owe me any money. You don't owe me any money. And she's, yes, I do. I have to pay you for my drinks. I said, you don't have to pay me anything. Well, take down my number. So at this point, thank goodness, the waitress comes over. And so she was like, are you all okay? And so the girl goes, no. And then she's like yelling in this young sister's face. So the young sister looks over at us like, I'm like, oh boy. And so
you can
just see it was coming.
This young lady is normally so mild mannered. You just, what I mean, she was about to just.
Oh,
I mean, we saw.
You could see
you saw the transformation. You were looking in her eyes, and her eyes were about to turn green. She's about to bust out of her outfit and become the She-Hulk. It was coming. You know.
So I was like, oh goodness. So she says, well, so Girly says,
yeah,
I didn't pay my check. And so I look at the waitress. I said, yes, she did. I said, I saw it.
Even I saw that.
I said, I saw it.
Yeah.
She definitely paid. She paid, and she gave the waiter a tip. I said, she gave him a cash tip.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. And so she was like, okay. So goes, no. She looks at Girly. No, or Girly looks at her and says, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. And so I said to Girly, I said, yes, you did. I said, do you remember? I said, he gave you a big hug, thanked you for the tip. And then we started talking about how you like the tip big. And so she goes, ah. And so now she had already hollered at the waitress we like. She hollered at another waitress, yelling at her, asking her to go and find out how much the VIP section was. And then when she found out how much it was, she's like, no, Miss Big Tipper wasn't going to VIP today, apparently. No, I'm not paying that much for that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So we, we're listening to all of this. And so the waitress we know, she says, okay, she goes, well, I'm going to check because we have a way to check if you paid your check. She goes, because if I put, I want you to know, if I put your credit card number back in, it's going to charge you a second time. Right. So you may want to
hold off.
You may want to listen to what this couple is saying. And so, okay. So the waitress we know walked off, took it, and I said, no, seriously, she really did pay. All right. So I guess there's a way you could check without putting the credit card numbers in.
Receipts.
Right. I'm sure that's
transactions.
What she did.
Yeah.
So she comes back and she says, listen, she goes, you did pay. This couple was right. You did pay. She goes, but did you want to tip the server on this? Is this what you wanted to do? And then again I said, listen, I'm not trying to get into all of this. Server. I said, but I certainly would not want to mess up anybody's money because I don't want anybody messing up mine. I said, but I saw her here's the tip. She gave him a tip and he thanked her and he hugged her. And then the three of us started talking about tipping. And so she goes, okay.
That's all we talked about.
Right. And so she was like, okay, all right. So she was annoyed and she walked away. So that lady walked away. But of course, there's a little more to that part of the story. We're sitting there talking to Girly. And what happens? Her drink falls over. Now, Miss Girly was not sitting across from me.
Yeah. The funny thing is that when the drink spilled, I had no idea that at first I didn't feel anything until I moved my arm until I took my arm off the table. And I'm like, oh, because you were like, oh, did it? Wait a minute, did that?
Because I said, I think that might have gotten you.
And at first I'm like, no, I was like, it was actually my, it was like right around here. Well, luckily I had a long sleeve shirt on, but it was like right where the elbow would be on your shirt, and maybe a little bit below the forearm, I guess. So, yeah. So while this goon, I mean this loon, I mean this girl lady, while she was trying to talk after she didn't spill the drink and it hit my arm.
Spill the wine. dig that girl.
I was not digging her. That was terrible. And I will say, yeah, I'm laughing at everything you're saying in the comments. It is funny because it is so true. She said, and then she tries to talk to us, and I really wish she would have just shut up because I have no idea what she was saying. She was talking about. I'm not going to name any places or anything like that because I don't want to.
Right.
But anyway, she was talking about her background a little bit, where she was from, what her family does, how much money that her family has, how much money that she has, that she can go out and get this and that, and somehow or another, she's getting real close. Now, keep in mind, Bobby's sitting to the left. I'm sitting to the right. This chick is sitting right right in front of me, but on the other side of the table. So this chick starts leaning into me like this, okay, like I'm in the camera. And then while she's talking to me, she's leaning like this, and then she's sticking her arm out like this. And I'm like, what is this loon trying to do? Like, what is she trying? And then she's talking. You ever heard of that before? Yeah, you know who so and so is. I'm like, and Bobby and I both like, yeah, we do. And I was like, no, I don't. So she just kept reaching her arm, and I was like, she's like reaching for me. I thought, why is she reaching for me? Why does she want to grab my hand?
I don't know, honey. I don't know.
And she would not stop. She grabbed my hand like at least 2 out of the 5 times.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm like, don't touch my hand. I'm not trying to hold your hand. I don't want to. I don't know what was going on, but we know what's going on. But I'm not your friend. I'm not your acquaintance. I'm not your, whatever. But I don't know you. But for her to keep her, like I said, this went on for like 10 minutes. Like she just kept on trying to reach, and every time she's reaching, I'm just leaning backwards. Just leaning back. And see, every time she's doing this, and I'm leaning back even more. But yeah, Danetta's laughing at me. Don't touch. Yeah, you're daggone right. Don't touch my hand. You don't know me. I don't know what stuff you got on your hands. Once you got to the bathroom quite a few times, and something else we didn't mention.
What?
What was she eating?
The peach. I can eat. What was she eating?
Part of your food you were done with.
Oh my gosh.
Now that was another thing that we didn't say here.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it.
This gets even better. So, we order appetizers and stuff, because some of the appetizers
just snack a little bit.
Yeah, snack, like finger food and stuff is just easier to maintain while you're sitting there. That's pretty much what they have anyway, unless you're just trying to get a big meal, but you don't want to go down there and get a big meal. Be all full while you're watching the concert, and you probably have to step away, go to the bathroom or whatever. But Bobby and I just got some appetizers. So when when everything was done, once everything was paid, they hadn't come by and
cleared off the table just yet.
So what did this chick do?
Okay, so let me just say. Well, let me go back a little bit and then come back. All right.
Danetta wants to know, what does she do now?
My little people at the preschool are terribly sick right now. And maybe only 2 out of the 8 I have aren't. And those 2 are probably sick now from being coughed on. So all of my little ones are sick. So when we were headed down there, I was telling Samsy, I said, my throat's feeling a little, scratchy, but it could be just in my head. It could be whatever.
Right.
But it's feeling a little scratchy. So I don't want to, share anything. I don't want to definitely don't want to give it to him. I don't want to get, if I'm sick, I don't want to give it to anybody. So we each ordered a thing of fries. So I'm, eating the fries, but of course, as the concert ended up going,
which were a lot of fries, by the way.
Right, it was too many fries for me to finish, and on top of that, the concert, we ordered it, of course, before the concert, And by the end of the concert, it was 2 hours late. Like the concert, which she really did give a lot. Like she,
Yeah.
So I was, just nibbling on the fries, but then of course, they're getting cold. So it's like, a little cold. Okay, wait, this one's a little crispy. Okay, okay, put that one down and pull another one. So at the end, they hadn't picked anything up. They hadn't cleared our stuff up yet. And Girly, we all stand up and we're getting our coats on and everything. Girly didn't have a coat either, whatever. She reaches down. She reaches across the table into my set of fries. And it's like, yeah, so and I'm like, oh.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Hope you don't get sick. You probably shouldn't eat.
That was hilarious.
You shouldn't eat off of people, especially people you don't know. Like if you know me and I'm well, you know what I'm saying. If I don't feel a little coming, absolutely you can eat off of my plate. Samson knows. I don't care because food does not like me. So it's like, so I'm happy if I buy something and if I eat a little bit and if it could be eaten and not wasted, absolutely. You could eat. Oh, Bobby, are you finished with that? Yep. Here, take it. Done and done. I do not fight over no food.
Yeah, but you had actually taken.
But I had been biting off
bits and pieces of it.
Yes.
And then sat it back in.
I know.
What if you would have decided, I'm just going to lick this one fry and put it back?
Well, that's bad enough. I mean, that's like, I bit some of them.
Yeah.
Like the tips of them off and put them like, oh, this one's still cold.
Because you knew they were coming to pick it up and
cold.
it was, was done.
Well, I guess she and I are gonna be, or I guess we're tight now because she might have some of my germs. I don't know. She couldn't be sick, but still, it's like
not as drunk as she was.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure there was enough alcohol in her to kill off whatever I might have had.
Yeah, rubbing alcohol. She probably drank that if you let
her. But like I said, don't eat off of. I mean, maybe I don't know. She didn't care.
Could you imagine if there was a half a burger left? And she would have probably picked that burger up and ate
it. And it was one of those slow motion things. Like you see her hand go down into, and you're looking like, no. Well.
Man, it's a good thing. Like I said, it wasn't a burger. It wasn't a piece of shrimp.
Yeah.
It wasn't a pizza.
But I had nibbled off of several of those fries.
I know. Danetta said, did we get an update or an apology for the evening or any information if she's okay? Asking for a friend.
Okay, so, thank you for asking. Thank you, Miss Danetta, for asking. So I'll end it with, when the three of us got up and were walking out, we ran back into the waitress that we like. And, she wanted to apologize to us because, we saw how irritated she was. And we're like, no. Our friend is the one that left her. And, that I absolutely understand because she wasn't, Girly didn't understand what you were saying. And she was being snarky and, and so she said, no, but I just don't want my regular customers to think that. Oh, absolutely not. We do not think any less of you.
We really adore her.
We do. She's fantastic. Mm-hmm. We said, we'll see you soon. There's some other concerts upcoming. So we are already on the list for those. And we're going to,
we'll
blah,
see
blah, blah. And in fact, I think we should directly ask for her if we could get her. So anyway, because I want her to know because we won't see her for at least a good month or a month and a half. Mm-hmm. So I don't want her to think like, they probably think I'm a jerk, but she wasn't. No. She did everything she could. And she did a fabulous job. But and so we said, well, our friend left Girly, and so she looks at us and said, I don't blame her. I don't blame her for leaving her. I get it. So I said, but basically, well, what's going to happen now? Because we don't. I'm like, we don't even know her. We don't know her name. And so she said, well, we have her name now, and we have they have a file. These City Winery is a business. They know.
That's not a good thing.
Right. So they have
She's on like a watch or something.
Yeah, like a don't serve more than 2 or something like that. Because I said, well, I just want you to know that because she said, well, your server should have realized that's what. And I said, well, honestly, to his,
you can't blame him.
Credit, I said she came in that way. I said she did not get drunk like that from the stuff at City Winery. I said the stuff at City Winery just enhanced it. But I said she told us she was down at Pittsburgh Winery before she came in, and she got, somebody had given her all these free drinks and this and that and the other. So, right, free drinks and snacks and this and that. So she came that way, and the girl said, well, yeah, but the server should. I said, but I said again, I'm not again. I don't want him to get in trouble. So I'm kind of.
Oh, I know he's not in trouble.
Right. Wrong. And I told her, I said, well, you're. Yeah, I totally get it. I said you're in management mode, so I get it. I said, but I'm gonna back up the server if that's okay. I'm backing up the server. I said, when she came in, she was pretty much together, but the show hadn't started yet, so everybody was talking and laughing and blah 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 blah. So it would have been hard, really, to notice that someone had so many, and we don't even know how many drinks she had before she got there.
Yeah, they were all free.
Right. So I think she had about 2 or 3 at City Winery, but
6 or 8,
right, or 10 or 20. No, but she, I really honestly want to. I feel like he came back 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was just 3.
Yeah, he came back checking on all of us.
Right, but I feel like he gave drinks 3 times. So 3 for most people, I feel like they could handle that. I mean, I might be wrong. I don't know. Maybe 2 might be plenty. But even 3 might be teetering the scales. But again, we don't know how much she had before she got there. And I said, Sam and I are decent enough people that I said, God forbid, our friend left her. What if she got up, nobody paying any attention? What if she got up and just walked on out into the street and got hit? We don't know. We don't. And again, like I said, I didn't know her name.
Well,
I don't know where she. Yes. So, when we were talking to the server, and so she says, "No, thank you so much for clearing all that up, and we appreciate it." And so then we said, "Well, what's going to happen now?" And so as I'm talking to the server, Sam's looking behind us, and he says, "Girlie's back there. Girlie's back there. Watch what you're saying. Watch what you're saying. Girlie's back there."
Just kind of,
I don't think she could hear us anyway. It was.
Well, I wanted to warn those of you in case she came over and saw us.
Right. So Girlie's yapping. Now, when we leave the server, and the server was thankful and that we had cleared everything up, and so she said, and I said, well, what's going to happen now? And she says, well, I know who your friend is. She goes, did they come together? And I said, no, they did not come together. Our friend Ubers a lot, so I'm sure she just Ubered from home. I said, and they didn't come together because our friend was here when Girly showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, okay. She goes, well, I'm not really sure what they're going to do. She goes, they'll probably have her call somebody, probably. And so I said, okay, well, that's as long as she, something can happen to help her get home safely. So as Sam and I are walking out the door, Girly is by the bar. And there are at least three other, at least 2 or 3 managers, and there's a couple of servers around there, whatever.
Yeah.
And I hear a manager say, how did you get here? Did you drive? Mm-hmm. Did you drive when you got here? And do you have someone to take you home, or can someone take you home? That was the last thing I heard walking out. So when we left, I did actually yesterday I did a little digging, and Girly posted a picture of her and our friend, in the bathroom, at City Winery. So it had been, by the time I had looked, it had been 3 hours since she posted the picture.
They just stand there, just nice picture of them both. They just standing there.
Right. So in other words, like I said, what happened, that was Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the picture yesterday. So clearly, so in other words, she's okay. Yeah. So with saying all of that, I'm assuming, but you know what you do when you assume, I'm assuming Girly is okay. I did a little digging, did a little trolling, and found the picture. So, yes, I hope she's physically okay. Again, I don't know how she got home. I don't know. She posted a picture of her and our friend and said, I had a really good time last night. When are we doing it again?
Exactly.
I don't think our friend is going to do it again.
No. Not with her. Not with
her. So we'll see.
Well, Danetta says, I can't wait to tell Jennifer about the story. Thanks. The story will make it to Germany after the laugh. Wow. Do us a favor. Tell Jennifer we said hello.
Yes.
And hope she's doing okay. Hope she's doing well.
Yes.
And
yes.
Yeah, the 21st never. Yeah, definitely.
You got that right.
Definitely tell her we asked about her.
Yes. That's for sure.
Yeah, so we're not going to do any trivia today, but I will tell you, again, if you haven't done so, 21st never. I like that. So again, if you haven't, make sure you go get this latest edition of Pandemic Press Media Magazine with C.G. Wynn in the author on the cover. You can get it now at lulu.com. And just to let you know, tomorrow is Sunday, and it is another audio podcast for you. So tomorrow, you'll be with me. The Smooth One, Sam C. Smooth, and Love Notes. Valentine's Day stuff. Love is all around. So it'll be posted for you tomorrow morning at some point. So make sure it's a brand new episode, and you'll be able to hear it on SoundCloud, Podbean, and Spreaker. So make sure you tune in for that.
Sounds like a plan.
As well. Also, you and I have a date coming in just a couple of hours.
That is correct.
So we will be going to see a play of
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. So that should be lovely as well. She said, "Oh, Danetta said I will tell her." She's messaging me now.
Oh,
that is interesting. So again, while you guys are here, make sure you click like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We would appreciate you. We are trying to get our numbers up. Right now, we are 149.
Oh,
so it's good enough. As you can see, we've been here for 13 years and still counting. The CCI radio show, globally connected and connecting the world. So thank you for making the CCI radio show part of your viewing pleasure.
That is correct.
So, anything else you want to add before we cut on out of here? And
no, I think we said it all, huh?
well, I will say one thing I forget.
What?
So next week, tentatively next week we do have an interview.
Okay.
So I will be contacting our interviewee either tonight or weekend, just part of the weekend, to ask if they're still available, if they're still interested, if we're still on. And I'm sure you will love our guest next week, who is supposed to be here.
Yes.
So we are looking forward to that. So we'll have some fun in the interview next week, supposedly, Lord willing.
Yes, Lord willing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I guess we better get ourselves on out of here. Got a little running around to do before Romeo and Juliet. So we will cut out now, huh?
Yes, we will cut on out now. So thank you guys for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. And watch all of our segments on our YouTube channel this whole week. And Lord willing, we will be back next Saturday with another CCI radio show.
That is correct.
Sis said, see you later.
I was like looking, it looked like it said, it looks like it had an R there. But
Lover.
Yes. But it's loved.
No.
From Romans 5 and 8.
So, I just said, enjoy the play. I'm eating my breakfast. So thank you for that. That's funny.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Yep.
So enjoy your Valentine's Day weekend. Relax. And since all the snow is out there, if you don't have to go out, stay inside, please. Stay inside. If you do have to go out, just be careful. Yesterday's history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we will see you again really, really soon. Happy Valentine's Day weekend. Enjoy.